Yesterday, news broke of an American dentist from Minnesota who paid $55,000 to hunt a beloved lion in Zimbabwe known as Cecil the Lion. Well, of course, there are reports of some foul play in that situation. It might have not happened as legally as it was supposed to, but nonetheless, PETA is not happy about this. They are, of course, huge animal rights activists, and they've taken on some pretty aggressive and, in some cases, militant actions in the past in order to protect the lives of animals. Well, their recent response to the killing of Cecil the Lion is no exception. They released a statement saying the following, and I actually condemn these statements because they incite violence. One of PETA spokespeople said, "Hunting is a coward's pastime. If, as has been reported, this dentist and his guides lured Cecil out of the park with food so as to shoot him on private property because shooting him in the park would have been illegal, he needs to be extradited, charged, and preferably hanged."
Come on, man. Look, first, calling him a coward, perfectly fine. Okay, I think we did that yesterday. Saying it appears that they try to evade the law. According to the reporting, they had a dead animal strapped to their truck. They drove it to lure the lion out of the park because it would have been illegal to kill him in the park.
Right.
Once he's on private property, they had an arrangement with the people who own that property, who now authorities in that country are investigating, right? And then they shoot him with a bow and arrow, obviously a sophisticated one, crossbow, and then they track him for 40 hours as he's bleeding out. Then they shoot him with a rifle, then they behead him, then they skin him, etc. Now, we're all outraged by that. Okay, PETA, why do you have to take it over the top and say he should be hanged? Well, when you do that, you lose all credibility, you lose all empathy, and you become the bad guys. So this is why people hate PETA.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest issues with PETA. I of course, believe in protecting animals. I love animals, but I can't associate myself with organizations like PETA because of this type of behavior. I mean, first of all, how ironic is it that you are fighting against the death of animals by advocating for the death of a human being? That's not okay. That's a terrible message. Inciting violence is not okay under any circumstance. And it's just, it totally delegitimizes anything that PETA does because people will refer back to this kind of stuff and they'll say, I don't know if I really want to associate myself with them.
It sounds like every extremist in the world, like, you know, how dare you do something I don't like? I'm going to kill you. You should be killed. You should be hung, right? So no interest in that, and they should be condemned for that statement. And the other thing that bothers me is, look, everybody's pissed about the lion, okay? I'm pissed about the lion. And the dentist now, of course, apologizes. He says, oh, I didn't know I was doing anything illegal.
Yeah, I'm going to read you his apology in a second.
Yeah, okay, sure. And he's like, I didn't know that I was killing a famous lion. Oh, so if you were killing a non-famous lion, it would have been fine. I mean, what a ridiculous excuse, right? Having said that, I'm starting to get upset a little bit at everybody being so mad about this. Like, they're more mad about this, I feel like, than when actual human beings get killed, right?
Yes.
And it's, I know why, and I'll tell you why. It's because they feel like the animals are innocent. They didn't do anything wrong. They weren't guilty. But when it comes to a person, we did a drone strike in Pakistan. Who can tell if the Pakistanis are innocent or guilty, right? There was an unarmed black man shot, but was he reaching for his waistband? Was he reaching for his hat? Did she have a cigarette on her? You know, I don't know. Maybe they're guilty. They're guilty. The lion. If you hurt a dog, you're in so much trouble in this country, right? So, look, he shouldn't have done it. Don't go around threatening violence on him. It is supremely ironic and totally immoral.
Yes. Now, Walter Palmer, who was the dentist who did this hunt and is now being attacked by many different people, did release an apology. He says that in early July, I was in Zimbabwe on a bow hunting trip for big game. I hired several professional guides and they secured all proper permits. To my knowledge, everything about this trip was legal and properly handled and conducted. I had no idea that the lion I took was a known local favorite, was collared and part of a study until the end of the hunt. I relied on the expertise of my local professional guides to ensure a legal hunt. I have not been contacted by authorities in Zimbabwe or the United States about the situation, but will assist them in any inquiries they may have. Again, I deeply regret that my pursuit of an activity I love and practice responsibly and legally resulted in the taking of this lion.
You don't regret it. You don't. Look, if the facts of the case are as everyone is reporting, what, did you accidentally have a dead animal attached to your truck? Did you not realize your guide was doing that as the dead animal was being dragged to private property? You didn't realize any of that? No, the only thing you didn't realize is that you'd get in trouble for it because everybody loved this lion. You were just looking to kill any old lion, right? And so that's also absurd and a terrible excuse. By the way, this happens all the time. So let me give you facts on that. The International Union for the Conservation of Nature estimates that trophy hunting tourists legally kill some 600 lions each year. That's the legal killings of lions. Now, to give you context on that, there's only 30,000 lions in Africa.
It's amazing that there's any legal killing of lions.
So every year, 2% of the lion population in Africa is legally killed by hunters. 64% of them are American tourists because they have a lot of money, like this guy. And when you were paying the $50,000 bribe to make sure you can kill this lion, you didn't know that that was a bribe either? I'm sure that that's what the dentist is going to say. Oh, golly gee, I thought that was just a $50,000 tip I was leaving on top of the money I paid for everything else. Right? Sure you did, right? So now the hunters will turn around and say, no. This makes the lions so valuable since we pay so much money to kill them that it discourages the poachers from killing the lions for a cheaper price and at a greater volume. Okay. Almost everybody in this story is unreasonable. Right. Okay. Speaking of which, we finally go to Glenn Beck. Now, let me go to graphic 5 here. Glenn Beck is mad at Jimmy Kimmel, who last night, while telling the story, teared up a little bit. Now, look, I just told you, I'm a tiny bit annoyed because I think I want to do a bumper sticker, save the humans, right? And so that we care so much more about animals' lives than we seem to care about humans' lives. But do I begrudge Jimmy Kimmel for tearing up over this? Of course not. It's a sad story. He showed a human reaction. Bless his heart.
Doesn't Glenn Beck cry about everything?
Everything. He's constantly crying.
Isn't that like his go-to move?
Yeah, absolutely. So what does Glenn Beck say about Jimmy Kimmel's reaction? He says, this is an indictment of our entire society. He says, who the hell are we? You will not like it. But I will tell you, at people that are on the wrong side of history, and people who apparently are hell-bent on their own destruction. A society that refuses to learn from the darkest moments of history, and so will repeat them. This is about Jimmy Kimmel crying over the lion. How do we get on the wrong side of history on that one?